Okay, so we want to quickly show you a solution to this problem that comes up when you remove and add fields, the same fields, to a view that you're busy developing. Now do note that this will only happen if you've developed the component from ground up. If you're working on a demo component that you've imported, the behavior would be different because it doesn't have history. I'm not going to explain that. I'm just going to show you what happens if you, for example, created this demo component. So you've basically clicked save and close a few times. Okay, that's the requirement. The same goes with if you go to the view and we open this look view. You've saved and closed this a few times, and same with the fields added here. You've also saved and closed this a few times. That means the component has built up in history. And having done that, you've gone out and you've actually compiled the component a few times. Not just, well, at least once. And saved it and compiled it. And you've done that a few times, and you've clicked install. And so you've installed your component, and you've gone and looked at your component, and you've sort of seen what you're trying to achieve, right? So this is the normal workflow of how you would develop a component. Now when the quirks takes place is when you actually then go into the admin view, and for example you decide to remove for example this which one would now make sense, this email field. Okay, so you remove it like that, and then you say save and close, and then you go to your compiler and you compile your component. So you just remove the email field, no harm done. Install, nothing goes wrong. If you now open that component, the looks, and you'd say new, yeah, the email field's no longer there, it's gone, and no harm, everything works. The problem happens if you decide later to actually add this email field back. So you're like, oh no, we actually still need it. And so you come in here and you get the email, not required. Make sure, yeah, this is the one. And you move it to where you want to use it. So let's see, right in tab and in the more area. Okay, so it's over there. Number 1, 2, 3, here we go. So you add it back in, save and close, go to the compiler and compile it. Now at this moment something happens which is a little bit hard to avoid. JCB sees the new field. He thinks, I'm gonna help this guy or this developer, this lady, and I'm going to add the code for the database update to the component for it. And in doing so, I'm also incrementing the value so that Joomla knows, because when Joomla sees the value of the component has incremented, then Joomla knows it's time to actually, oops, sorry, wrong button. It's time to actually update the component. So in updating the component, it updates the database. Actually, this version incrementation adds another database update file to the component, and this then updates the database. So you can see that there has now been an increment because we were on 2.0.0, now it's 2.0.1. So let's look at what happened in JCB. We know what's going to happen if we click here, right? If you do that, you're going to get a it doesn't want to work, and it tells you that it already exists. And rightly so, because when you removed the email field, we didn't write code saying remove the email field from the database. And the reason therefore is, let's say you have a big component and you decide that you're going to actually remove a field and put it in another table, for example. And then while installing, you're going to move the data from the one field to the other. If we did remove this actual field for you, we're gonna wipe it before you get to move the data. So we're avoiding data loss is the motivation for not adding a delete of fields. When you remove the field from your component, we don't add a SQL to remove it from the database as well. So that's the reason. Okay, so forgive me, but this is, I think you'll be madder at me if I was to delete your data without you know. So, okay, what happened in JCB? Let's go to the component. The component is got an area which is called component updates. Okay, it's the SQL area of the component. If we open this, you'll see that JCB wrote a string here which adds the email field effectively to this table exactly as you would expect, and incremented your version. Now it's very easy to fix this. If you don't want that, of course, you just remove that version, take that line of code away and save and close, and you're done. If you come back to the compiler and click compile, it's going to no longer add that extra SQL, but now something else happened. If we click here, we're going to get the same error. And it's not because of the package any longer. It's actually because of the files in this Joomla website. So what you need to do, we just compile this again to illustrate. I'm going to compile it. Like you see, I haven't done anything, but I'm not going to install it yet. I'm first going to go and remove that file which is causing the problem. So let me show you. So in your Joomla folders, you'd go to admin, components, and to that component that you're working on, in our case demo, and to the SQL folder, and to the update folder, the MySQL folder, and you'd see that there is now this 0200. This is the SQL file you want to remove. If you open it, you'd see it has exactly that code that we removed. It has it in it. And it's because this is going to always be executed every time you install the component, and it's got a newer version. It's going to say, okay, that means we need to run this. Okay, so you remove that file, and we go back to here and we click install, and voila, no problem. And it will make the same problem again. So I'm sorry about this quirk. It's a little bit unavoidable, and you need to just know what what JCB is doing for you. It is writing this update for you if you add a new field, or if you change a field's type, or if you add a view, or if you change a view's name, or if you change a field's name. It actually writes the SQL to update that, and that's why it increments your component version. That's the only way the update will automatically be run in Joomla. So once you know this, you easily can come into this update area. You can remove any SQL you don't like, and you can even take the version back wherever you like. It will automatically reset the component to that version you set here. Okay, I hope this helps. I obviously never really have this because I know how it works, so I've never thought of making a tutorial, but I realize it's clearly it's not well documented, so I'm sorry. Okay, well, have fun. Until next time.